Hello, my name's Mark Saunders and this is a YouTube video presentation on questionnaire structure, looking in particular at visual presentation and layout of the questionnaire. It's one of the series of YouTube videos on questionnaires where I also look at how to write the invitation or accompanying letter or email. I look at mistakes in wording of questions, the common mistakes that is. I also look at different types of questions. The sorts of information you can collect with questions, and also one on different forms of questionnaires. There's quite a few different ones out there on questionnaires I've done. In addition, more widely, there's a whole series of videos, presentations on research methods on my YouTube channel, Mark Saunders on Research Methods, and you'll see the link to this at the bottom left hand of each slide. When we're looking at layout, we're going to first look at general points about layout which apply to all forms of questionnaire. Then we're going to focus down and look at layout for online questionnaires, layout for paper-based questionnaires, and layout for telephone questionnaires, and also those questionnaires where we have an interviewer asking the questions to the respondent face-to-face. And then, as usual, I'll finish up with some references and further reading. So let's start off with general issues about visual presentation. The design needs to make the filling in of answers easy, so straightforward to do. And unlike the illustration here, warm pastel colours, so sort of buffs or pale pinks, are much better than cold colours like pale blues and pale greens. And white is a neutral colour, is fine. We should use a plain font, as we do in the example here, and it should be about 12 point. Capital letters and bold should be used minimally and only if they can help to actually emphasize things, and you should use them consistently. So in this case, in this one, we've actually used to what extent in bold to emphasize that before we go on to the matrix question. And the format of a matrix question is one which respondents will be accustomed to or recognize, so that's fine. And when we give the instructions, it's useful to give them one line at a time. So here on this one, the instruction is the following items refer to your treatment by managers in general who are responsible for making decisions in any town manufacturing company that affect your work. To what extent? And it would help really if the to what extent was on a separate line. Now let's go into a bit more detail and look at online questionnaires. And these need to be well spaced on the screen, and the questions need to come in a single column. And it's better to put a new screen in and have for more questions rather than cramp things in too much. But remembering, of course, that always our questionnaire should be as short as possible while still collecting the information we need. The crucial thing here, though, is that we optimise the online software for different media. So we can optimise it for screen, for tablet and mobile phone. And on the right we see how a rating question has been actually done on an online mobile phone, and you can see here it's asking on a scale of 10 to 1, where 10 is very extremely hot curry and 1 is a cool or mild curry, how hot you usually like your curries. And then we've got the rating scale. We can actually move that up, and at the moment it's halfway up on 5, and you can change it by sliding on. So it's a fun thing to do with an online questionnaire. Let's now look at visual presentation for paper-based questionnaires. And because the respondent is actually receiving the questionnaire, it helps if it's on good quality paper, so not very flimsy that you can see through. 1 or 2 columns work for this, and as you can see on this questionnaire, there are 2 columns here, and it's not cramped. There's plenty of white space around this extract of the questionnaire. And again, keep it as short as possible. In fact, this questionnaire managed to get all the questions on one side. And what we have here is an example of a questionnaire designed for school children aged 12 to 13 on their visit to the Pegasus Memorial Bridge in Brittany, and that's a museum in relation to the Second World War. And you can actually find a case on this question in the 7th edition of my textbook, and the case is called Design an Attractive Questionnaire, and you can actually find the case itself on the companion website to the textbook. Let's move on now. We're now going to look at visual presentation of telephone and face-to-face questionnaires. And here the visual presentation is designed to be easy to complete by the interviewer who is asking your respondent the questions. And so we see here clear instructions to the interviewer, and these are written in italics. And so they say, the next section is about your customers. I'm now going to ask you some questions about your business customers. Please, can you let me know the response that most closely matches your business? And then the instructions for what the interviewer has to do next are in square brackets. And basically what they have to do is to read out each statement and then each of the possible 5 responses. So they would say, our commitment to serving customers' needs is closely monitored. Do you strongly agree, agree, neither agree or disagree, disagree or strongly disagree? And then the respondent will give their answer and they go on to me read out the next statement. We can also think about delivering questionnaires via SMS, in effect text to your phone. And obviously in these cases the questionnaire has to be optimised for use on mobile phones and it needs to have a very few questions, probably 5 or less. And normally what we see is 1 question per screen. So here is a questionnaire that's just come through, perhaps from a delivery company. It says, hi, it's IP. Please reply to this text to rate your driver using a number. Amazing equals 5, good equals 4, okay equals 3, poor equals 2, unacceptable equals 1. Thanks. So you type in your answer and then you press return, and lo and behold, you get another question that comes through again on a text. Thanks for your feedback. We'd love it if you could tell us more about your experience by replying to this text. We hope to serve you again. Thanks. And then, as you can see, you can put a text message in the bottom and send that forward. As usual, I'm going to finish up with some references and further reading. And the first of these is Don Dillman and colleagues' book, Internet, Phone and Mixed Mode Surveys, the Tailored Design Method. And this is really helpful on questionnaire layout, be it online or telephone or mixed modes, where you're combining different modes. Yuxel Kintz's book, Designing Research Questionnaires, again gives you some useful insights into questionnaire layout, as indeed as my own text with Phil and Adrian, Research Methods of Business Students. And here I suggest you look at Chapter 11. I hope you found this YouTube video presentation useful, and I'd be really grateful if you'd subscribe to my channel, Mark Saunders on Research Methods, and also told your friends and colleagues about the channel as well. I'm adding new videos to the channel nearly every week, and hopefully they'll be of help to you in your own research.